Hello everybody and welcome to Kimmel'sIrishPub.com. Time for another movie review. Tonight I'm extremely excited to watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Chris Pratt is in this one. Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1 was very good, did very well in the box office. This on IMDb got an 8.0. I don't think I have to go into great detail about the cast or the plot of the movie. I think anybody who might be watching this movie review already knows about Guardian of the Galaxy. As I said, I'm very excited. I am a big fan of superheroes. I'm more of DC than I am Marvel. Still very excited to see what this has in store. It's great that it's finally out on DVD or on Amazon. You can buy it now. So I bought it the first night that I could, so that we could watch it together and I could do a little review of it. I expect great things from this one. So I'm going to start watching it and I'll check in a little bit. Alright, see you there everybody. Time for a quick check-in. Again, Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2. I am at the 24-minute and 36-second mark. So far so good. A lot of action in the beginning. And a lot of comedy, which I think was in the first one. And what I didn't realize, and I don't remember the first one that well, I was going to watch it before I watched this one, but this one I thought was coming out in a week, and I had time to watch the first one. I didn't realize that you could buy it now, so I didn't get to watch the first one again. But I don't remember Dave Bautista being so funny. So that doesn't stick out to me so far in the first 25 minutes of this movie. He is pretty funny. And so is Rocket. I think Rocket was funny in the first one, who's the voice of Bradley Cooper, which I think is also interesting, listening to, I know it's him, but the way he changes his voice, and so it doesn't sound completely like Bradley Cooper. I think that's pretty neat. So far, again, a lot of action, a lot of comedy. It's a good part, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything. Again, we're only 25 minutes in, but Star-Lord, or Chris Pratt, Kurt Russell has just showed up and announced that he's his father. And that's at the point that we're at right now. So there's a lot more movie to go. But so far so good. I'm enjoying it, and I wanted to check in real quick. And I'll be back in a little bit. Hey everybody. It is at the 58-minute and 2-second mark of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I wanted to check in real quick and give a quick update. Dave Bautista is still stealing the show for me. Very funny throughout. The other thing I forgot to mention, which was in the first one, was an excellent soundtrack. In the beginning I wasn't too sure of the songs, but it has picked up since then. The comedy, the action, the soundtrack is still very good so far. We got to a little bit of a sappy part. Star-Lord's dad explains to him how he becomes his dad, which is a little unusual. I'm not really thrilled with that part about it. And then, they're reconnecting in a sense, and so there's a little bit of, a little sappiness there at that point. But other than that, it's still pretty good. And going to see where it goes from here. And I just want to check in and see if you're still watching it with me. I'll be back in a little bit. Hey everybody, checking in again. Haven't really checked in an awful lot in this movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The credits are actually just over right now. Sorry I didn't check in. Normally I like to check in throughout the movie, but I was very immersed in the movie. It was very entertaining. The plot was very easy to follow. A lot of times you'll get some of these superhero movies and the plot's a little convoluted. This one was very easy to follow, but it wasn't boring. It kept you engaged throughout the entire movie, which was excellent. So that's why I didn't do a lot of check-ins, and I saved my review for the end. Obviously, the scenery was amazing. CGI, it's amazing in these movies now, and you can't even tell it's computer generated. It was a very visually pleasing movie. In addition to that, there was a lot of great character development, which I didn't expect. So if you remember the first one, there wasn't a whole lot of character development, but there was in this one. And that really made for somewhat of an emotional roller coaster. Throughout my check-ins throughout the beginning of the movie, I talked about the action and adventure and the humor and the comedy that went along. Well, I talked about also a little sappy part as well. Well, they build upon that. There's even probably a point in the movie that some people, not myself, might cry. So there are, possibility of having tears in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So it was very well done, again, because they developed all of the characters, and gave you a little bit of a backstory or a little bit of peek into their personalities and things like that. So it really helped build that emotional roller coaster, from the comedy to maybe some sad things, and obviously the action that went throughout the movie. I would recommend, although I do believe this movie could stand on its own, you could watch this one and not have to watch the first one and still enjoy it. I would strongly recommend, if you haven't already, watch the first one. As I mentioned, I would have liked to watch it right before this one, but I still did watch it, and I was able to make the connection. If you haven't, or if you have time, watch the first one first, because it really helps with that character development throughout the second one here. So, but it could stand on its own, but I recommend watching the first one first. And doing it right before this one would be excellent. And one last thing, with all Marvel movies, of course, you have to watch all the credits. You have to watch all the way through. There's a couple of scenes throughout the credits, not just one throughout the whole thing. So you have to watch it all the way through to make sure you don't miss out on those scenes. So that's pretty much. Oh, as far as my rating, I'm gonna go with IMDb on this one, and I'm gonna give it an 8 myself. Very close to giving it a 9. My only reason for not giving it a 9, without giving out any spoilers, is how they formed Star-Lord's dad. Like, what he was all about, I think was a little bit of a stretch. I mean, it works out well in the movie plot. I thought there was a better route to go with that, instead of what they did. And I don't want to give it away to you. I don't think it would really ruin the movie if I told you. But when you see it, you'll see what I mean. Maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. But that was the only thing that kept it from a 9 or a 10 for me. So I'm going to go with an 8 on this one. And that's it for the review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Hopefully you learned a little something here, or helped you before you watch it. If you did like it, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and put in comments below. Even after you watch it, if you agree with some of the things that I said, or you disagree, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear from everybody and see what they thought. Alright, thanks again. Have a good night.